grounds, one big verdict counting today to decide fate of West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam and Puducherry. West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee makes big claim ahead of results, alleges deliberate power cuts near strong rooms, flags tampering fears, seeks vigilance. Candlelight vigil held across Imphal to mark 3rd anniversary of Manipur unrest as state marks 3 years since May 3rd, 2023 violence. US President Donald Trump rejects Iran's latest 14-point proposal, says offer not acceptable. It is verdict day and the political temperature has hit its peak across 5 battlegrounds that voted through April with high stakes and sharper narratives. From the high voltage contest in West Bengal to the ideological face-off in Kerala, from Tamil Nadu's decisive mandate movement to Assam's power battle and the strategic fight in Puducherry, India is set for a multi-state judgment that could redraw political equations. Counting begins this morning with trends expected shortly and decisive leads likely by noon as more than 1,000 candidates across 4 states and 1 union territory await their fate after weeks of intense campaigning. Voter turnout surge and bitter political exchanges continue. Now let's go state by state to tell you what's at stake. Let me start with West Bengal because West Bengal is extremely important both for Mamata and Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party because of various reasons, ideological mooring, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee and the sort of political investment which Prime Minister Narendra Modi had made from 2014 and the sort of campaign that has been conducted by Home Minister Amit Shah with 294 seats at stake and the majority mark set at 148. This is not just a number game but prestige battle between Trinamool Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party with Left Congress Alliance also attempting to stay relevant in, I would say, pockets. Weeks of aggressive campaigning, high decibel rhetoric and record voter participation have defined this contest. Exit polls have largely indicated an edge for BJP, setting the state for a high-stake contest. Now, the counting will begin, then the postal ballots will come out, but before all that, before all that data and the bites which I need to play out, I'll let you open West Bengal for, our panelists. Samya, to you, what is your take on West Bengal? In this room, a lot of people have different views on West Bengal. So, let's be candid about it, What's your take? You want TMC to win or you think TMC is winning?
You're putting me at a spot over here. I do feel TMC has an edge.
Okay.
And I feel that even though if TMC wins with a slim margin, what really matters is who's going to form the government. Somebody who wins the election not necessarily needs to form the government because if it's going to be a close tie between the BJP and the TMC, we have seen in the past how the BJP ended up staking claim to form the government. There has been defections, there have been MLAs who've gone and joined the BJP, but the sense on the ground that is palpable is that they want a change. Whether it's anti-incumbency, whether it's BJP's high-octane campaign this time around, trying to leverage their RSS roots. But I still feel that given the cadre on ground, TMC still has an edge.
TMC has an edge. Brijesh, this word has been used by a lot of journalists, Parivartan. A lot of people are tweeting, Parivartan is going to happen and they have used words like Prarabdha and all that. Do you think that there's rage in West Bengal's politics for a Parivartan or it's a tough contest? How would you phrase it?
Well, I would say that, you start using word Parivartan and Prarabdha depending on, how much time you spend in any political party's headquarters. So that more or less covers your inclination. But the fact of the matter is that I would say that this is perhaps one of the most challenging battle Trinamool Congress Supremo and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is fighting. The reason I'm saying this is because perhaps for the first time, we not for the first time, but we are seeing a massive deployment of, central forces. The state police is not having much of a say. This is perhaps one of the most violence-free election West Bengal has seen. And when you govern a place for 3 times, there's a natural anti-incumbency which is there. So I think the biggest challenge would be that if Mamata Banerjee wins this particular contest, I would say that she has won perhaps the biggest political battle, and she would be numero uno when it comes to India Alliance or India Alliance. I think she would be the tallest leader as far as the alliance is concerned. If BJP is going to win this, I think perhaps this would be their near apogee moment in political landscape of the country, given that Shyama Prasad Mukherjee comes from West Bengal. The famous slogan "Ek Vidhan, Ek Samvidhan" और उस पे the UCC fact एक प्रधान नहीं चलेगा, यही होना चाहिए, and so for them it's going to be an apogee. I think the only bastion which would be left for them to capture would be the state of Kerala, which has seen a lot of massive fighting between the RSS cadres and the left loyalists. So it is a make or break election for the opposition. It's a extremely important political battle for Mamata Banerjee, and this is the reason why, and then equally so for the BJP. This is the reason why the stakes are so high as far as West Bengal is concerned.
Savya, what's your take?
This time it's going to be quite contest between BJP and the Trinamool Congress, because what I feel is that the 3M, which has been the core of Mamata Banerjee in the last 3 term, that is Muslim, migrants and Mahila. This time the TMC cadres and the TMC leaders themselves are not 100% confident that the 3M will vote for Trinamool Congress, because BJP has campaigned heavily in West Bengal. They have focused on governance, they have focused on corruption. One of the corruption issue which has reached the doorstep of Mamata Banerjee was the SSC scam, where the lakhs of youth in the state of West Bengal have been affected because of this corruption. So they have reached the doorstep of Mamata Banerjee, and somewhere to divert that, she has brought back the attack of Bengal identity, Bengali Ashmita, Bengali pride. We have seen the same tactics back in 2021, but this time a lot of corruption from the Trinamool Congress has definitely caused a dent to Mamata Banerjee.
Kabir, your take?
Yeah, you see, first and foremost, many people, specifically on social media, talking about the decimation of Mamata Banerjee. If she's unable to come back this time around, they're saying this is going to be the end of the road for Mamata Banerjee.
A lot of people are a particular brand of people.
What?
A lot of people, a particular type of people call it.
A huge section of the netizens, not a particular type of people. Let's not put them into categories. Not so soon. The early trends are also not out. But, people are saying that whether this is going to be a decimation for Mamata Banerjee or not, I think it's still early doors. Like, Brijesh pointed out, of course, if she's unable to come back, well, then, of course, people will say what the next 5 years have in store for, something like the Trinamool Congress. But if she is able to mount this challenge back, then the next 5 years, so much can happen over the next 5 years. And of course, the India Alliance, the entire rubric and the dynamic of the opposition on the national stage is going to change completely. The women have been disproportionately loyal to Mamata Banerjee, but what does this time around have in store for her? Well, we'll have to wait and find out, because Prime Minister's Howrah, and Bengal Blitz was on one side, those road shows, and Mamata Banerjee with her Padyatras on the other side. It was always neck and neck. Buoyed by the exit polls, it seems like the BJP does have some sort of an edge, but we've seen it time and again that the exit poll numbers don't necessarily hold arch nemesis when it comes to psephologists and pollsters, the state of West Bengal.
Okay, let's shift focus to Tamil Nadu. 234 seats, halfway mark at 118. It's a contest between DMK, ADMK, now the TVK is also in between. Now the TVK chief, Vijay, I think he did a lot of I would say post-election, puja projection, his Dharma Yatra, but somehow, I think the messaging went, he didn't go for it on Sunday or Saturday. There have been various reasons ascribed to that, but Vijay has been able to change the flavor of the Tamil Nadu election. Tamil Nadu election has been about 2 big parties and their little alliances in the state, but Vijay has turned out to be a person who may do better than maybe the previous stars who had come after MGR and Jayalalitha. I do not compare them with the stars who came, tested their strength in politics. Some failed, some just didn't come. Rajnikant didn't come. Kamal Hassan compromised, from a party, he went, now he's part of the India Alliance. So, it entirely depends. Tamil Nadu is a very different state, despite being a very religious society, maximum number of temples in the state. Brijesh, Tamil Nadu, again keeps its politics away from, I would say, the political narrative and the religion. Thoya also joins me from Chennai on this issue. Thoya,
Yes, Kartikeya.
good morning, Thoya.
Morning.
So Thoya, what's your? Oh, Nirmal is also there. Thank you, Nirmal. Good morning. I can see Nirmal also. Thoya, what's your take on West Bengal?
On Tamil Nadu. at this
On
point.
Tamil Nadu, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kartikeya. So, this is a day that it is much anticipated that everybody is looking out for in the state of Tamil Nadu. But here, what we are seeing is that let's not go completely on the exit poll numbers because something is likely to change in today's, counting as well. Because the counting will start from 8 o'clock, and we can actually know what is going to happen. Who will be leading by 12 p.m. So now that we are talking about, for the past 5 decades, there's been only DMK and ADMK who has been ruling the Tamil Nadu state. But now that X-Factor actor turned politician Vijay who has entered, that's creating a huge, impact in this elections because where we see the first-time voters and mainly the women votes, that is going to impact TVK's vote page. No, because TVK Vijay, who is also been mainly focusing on the first-time voters, the youth especially, and the women voters, I can also tell you, because this time where TVK is expected to split the vote in Tamil Nadu, and not only in Tamil Nadu, when we talk about Puducherry, where we see that NR Congress and BJP, who has been in power for a while, this time it is also expected that BJP and NR Congress, who is again going to come back to power, but likely that TVK is also going to make impact in Puducherry as well. So till now the counting is not yet started. The postal counting will only begin at 8 o'clock. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of a verdict will Tamil Nadu get, and who would be the next chief minister of Tamil Nadu. That is the biggest question here that we are seeing here is Kartikeya.
Thoya, it's still early doors. You're absolutely right. Postal counting will begin at about 8 a.m. But those exit poll numbers, of course, everybody tuning in with what the DMK will have to offer. But Access My India spoke about TVK chief, Vijay, racking in about, almost nearly about 100 seats. What was the sentiment on the ground? Because, a lot of school students, a lot of, housewives that sided with the TVK when we were talking about the exit polls, a lot of psephologists and pollsters. That's the man on our screens. So what was the sentiment on the ground? Were people really happy with the exit poll numbers, or is it really going to be DMK this time around?
Definitely, Kabir. One side, people were really happy about the exit polls, especially about the Access My India, which the numbers that they had given, the TVK would at least win 92 to 120 seats. It's plus or minus, And now that the not only Access My India, there's several other private agencies have also given out their numbers where, few agencies are having a top hand for DMK, few agencies are showing the top hand for AIA-DMK, and here few agencies are showing their top hand for TVK. But here on the ground, the situation is looking like that all people here are expecting for a change of the government and for a better future for Tamil Nadu. And people here are fixed, they've all fixed in their mind that, next chief minister would be the TVK Vijay. That's what the ground situation is looking like. But on the other hand, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin is also he's having more confidence that he would come back to power again, and he would be the first Chief Minister in Tamil Nadu who will continue as a Chief Minister in the second term. That is what the confidence that he is having. On the other hand, when we see AIA-DMK Chief Edapadi K. Palaniswamy, who is also much confident about that, AIA-DMK and LDA would form the government in Tamil Nadu.
Thank you. Stay with me. So, just to introduce our guests, we also have Nirmal Ibrahim, political analyst. We have Pratim Ranjan Bose, senior journalist, joining us from West Bengal. Thank you, Pratim. Thank you so much. I think there will be a lot of kitchen share to make it out of it because there are so many different states. So I really request you to be with us because we're jumping states here and there. So that's how.
That's how it's going to go.
No, that in politics, that's true. Studios are messy. That's how the conversation is going to be messy. Let me tell you, it's not a single anchor show. Everybody is ahead with their own view. British, should we keep Tamil Nadu or should get now?
No, I think we should talk about both two other key states, which is the state of Kerala and Assam.
Okay, so let's talk. One for a verdict. That will have great ramification, because if left loses, there is no government of left in this country anymore. Left is completely out. Imagine left in 1952 and imagine RSS and then its political avatar Jansangh in 1952. Today, 2026, left and Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, RSS, the Jansangh, 1980 it becomes BJP, and then now 2026, look where left is and where BJP is. That's one big key takeaway. Second key takeaway is there going to be a shift in leadership? After a long time, you do not have a Christian face within the Congress party. You had a lot of Christian chief ministers, this time you don't have them.
Yep.
Chenitala is considered to be a Hindu face. Venu Gopal again does a different brand of politics. Satheesan is in itself is a different
They are
case. So,
from the same community, in our community. So
absolutely. So the politics is different. They do not come from different communities. So it's a different Congress we are dealing with. That's a second part. Third is what happens to BJP. It's a state where both the Muslims and the Christians are more than 20% each. So that way, the Kerala is about faction management, outside and inside. So it's not as if it's Congress ki sarkar. It's UDF, and it's not left ki sarkar, because there are a number of smaller parties which are part of it. That's number 4. And number 5, the margins are small. It's a complex state. It's not one state. The politics of North Kerala, South Kerala, the middle Kerala is very different. The politics of coastal Kerala is very different from the highlands. And let us not forget that a tragedy took place in this tenure in the Wayanad district. And it redefined the politics. Priyanka is now an MP from Kerala. So, Kerala is a very, very, very different state. Nirmal, to you now, your assessment on the politics of Kerala, where BJP is trying to create space for itself. So, you think that will they be able to push forward, or you think that they have reached their, I would say, maximum strength in the state? They've tried everything, even the Goa model, where they tried to take church along. Nirmal?
Yeah, BJP, I guess we're going in the right direction till 2024. You saw that in the results of the Lok Sabha elections, where for the first time they got close to 20% vote share. But then after that, in 2025, string of events may have affected the Christian community's backing for BJP, starting with the arresting of nuns, priests, and pastors. And then there were issues during Christmas, a huge fiasco during Christmas, where shopping malls were forced to close down because they decorated, they had Christmas decorations. Street vendors were asked to leave. Kids who decided to sing Christmas carols were asked to shut up. So all of these things created a negative impression in the minds of Christians, and that Christian vote BJP will definitely lose those Christian votes this time. However, compared to the last assembly elections, they will perform better in terms of seats. One of the reasons for that is because Rajiv Chandrasekhar got into the helm last year. His whole messaging was not about community versus community or division. His messaging was about development. And I think that may work in Nemam and a couple of other constituencies like Manjeshwaram, where K. Surendran, the former president, lost only by 745 seats last time and 89 seats in 2016. So there may be a chance for BJP in Manjeshwaram. There's definitely a chance for them at Nemam, where Rajiv Chandrasekhar is contesting. In fact, in Lok Sabha elections in Nemam constituency, he had a lead of 22,000. So if he's able to translate that into votes here as well in the assembly elections, then they've got a very good chance. And maybe one more seat, either Thrissur or Chattanur or Karakutam, there's probably a likelihood of maybe a maximum of 3 seats. But more than that, at the moment for BJP, it's going to be difficult, especially in the Christian belt, as you mentioned, central Kerala, places like Kottayam, Pathanamthitta, Idukki, where BJP was slowly pushing in. because of the Christian votes. That may not be the case this time. They will lose Christian votes in central Kerala, which means they'll end up with a maximum of 3 seats. Whereas for UDF, it's going to be good because all these Christian votes that left the BJP would return to the UDF, and that will favor the UDF this time.
Okay, Sunita Arya also joins me from BJP headquarters. Good morning, Sunita.
Good morning.
I know, I've been in this, I've been in this position. You deployed from 5:30, 6 a.m. in morning, and then you get your one chance in an hour. I know what it means to stand there. So all respects to you. Your assessment, are we going to see a big speech of Prime Minister there at BJP headquarters, or, the mood is slightly sober out there, they are also anticipating some sort of mixed results.
It seems like a little bit of a technical difficulty with there. It happens in the BJP headquarters, but I'll tell you what, of course, you get your moment to shine in that hour, but the BJP headquarters, they know how to do a good breakfast. So early in the morning, the BJP HQ, the poha over there is really...
Now, let me just introduce Assam also. It's about 126 and it's about Himanta Biswa Sarma politics. Majority marks is 64. And it's very important election because, Himanta Biswa Sarma is already the Chief Minister. If Congress loses this election, then it will have a big problem for Gaurav Gogoi. Because, Gaurav Gogoi has been given a carte blanche by Rahul Gandhi. If Gaurav is unable to create it, even in defeat, if defeat is not respectable, then that's a big problem for Gaurav Gogoi. Then the Congress party will have to find a different leader outside the Gogoi clan because Gaurav has been accommodated in Lok Sabha. Gaurav has been given a lot of responsibilities, but if this does not happen, then there is a big issue and people forget Gaurav was also in charge a couple of years ago of West Bengal also. So his footprint has been larger. So Assam, one has to see whether SIR works, whether it's the issue of Ghuspatia works, or it's the the larger Hindu Hriday Samrat projection that works. Assam remains a significant state for BJP because in 2016 for the first time the government came to power on a word called Khilonjia, which roughly translates into a word called indigenous, the government of the indigenous people. And that's where the politics has been hinged from 1984 onwards when late Rajiv Gandhi brought IMDT Act, and IMDT Act actually shifted the politics of Assam. IMDT Act said that, it gave a cut-off date. And the entire job of the administration was to find those who came to Assam after that date. So, this is roughly about Assam and Puducherry. It's all about the Congress legacy of 2014, I would say, when Narayan Swamy was sent and Ranga was not accommodated. And since then, the Congress has not been able to create a stable ground in Puducherry, which used to be its own backyard. So, these are, gentlemen and ladies, these are the 5. Now, I open it up. I'm not going to put this discussion into different castes. This is the I would say nitty-gritty of each state which is going to polls today. So Samya, starting from you, which is going to be the most interesting one, the head turner?
I feel it's going to be Tamil Nadu because either way, whether it's West Bengal, I feel there's going to be a clear majority between both the sides, BJP and the TMC. But when it comes to Tamil Nadu, is TVK going to be able to form the government on its own? Will it only end up being a vote cutter party? Is the BJP AIA DMK alliance going to work, or can DMK bounce back? I feel that is going to be a tri-cornered fight that's going to be far more interesting than the West Bengal election. Although my heart is in whatever's going to happen in the state of Shonar Bangla is what I'm going to be looking forward to. But I feel Tamil Nadu is going to be most interesting to look forward to, whether TVK's fan base is going to turn out and translate into vote bank for him, because we've seen traditionally how the actors turned politicians have managed to swing elections. But whether he will be able to do that, because the Karur stampede did end up dampening his initial campaign, but it wasn't a setback for him. Vijay continued with his campaign, and I feel he has managed to pose a threat to the DMK's bastion. Okay.
Now, let us take quick comments. Let's open it up. All of you can ask questions from Pratim Ranjan Bose. He joins me. And my old colleague Sandeep Pukan, Deputy Editor, Hindu. Good morning, Sandeep.
Good morning. I was remembering our TV days you were talking about.
I'm still here, Sandeep. Don't retire me. Don't retire me. I'm still here.
I said you were talking to your colleague about, So I remember starting my day at 5 in the morning, and today is a little different, but I started my day at 6 to be here in office by 7.
These are the small mercies. These are the small mercies.
Starting your day by 7 o'clock, ending the day by 8:30.
You're
when the anchors take over.
opening comments.
Well, we would be waiting for our turn to say a few lines in the entire day.
Pratham, your opening comments on West Bengal?
Well, this is going to be a defining election for either side. Mamta's career, and it is also because remember it is coming on the back of our 2021 loss to Shubhendu. So her personal, whether the political equity that she had, the popularity remains, is a issue that will be tested. So that's a big thing. The election so far had been a game changer in the sense that there was been in a quite shift from the violent politics that was introduced, particularly by the left. So we could stop that by use of force. There was no pre-poll death or etc. In fact, the level of troubles had been pretty low, I should say, compared to what happened in the past. What happens after the poll is to be seen. The nation must come out with all force to stop this culture of violence. So I hope that they made, I don't know whether that is constitutionally possible, but that's the thing that as a Bengali I should watch out for. So a big day, I think after 50 years, for 50 years almost, so 1977, Siddhartha Shankar Rai government was gone. So from that, the state has unfortunately come to the regional politics, in the fold of regional politics. I mean, CPM is nothing but a regional player that way. And they have taken the state slowly and slowly, they isolated it from the national politics, national economy, to the extent that the country was liberalized in 1991. But West Bengal, which had all along been complaining about the freight equalization, which was an unjust policy of the control era, so they took almost 4 years to come out with an economic policy. I mean, that is where Tamil Nadu took a serious age between 1991 and 2001. So West Bengal is a peculiar story in Indian economy of how to ruin a very prosperous state into what it is today, that if there is an election in West Bengal, the entire nation complains about lack of households. It's a shame. So we want change from that. We want that it gets, as a citizen, I would expect it to be closely linked to the national politics. It should get back its recognition. Now, this is nothing to do, an election cannot change that, but I wish that it goes forward. I mean, it has really gone to some length.
Okay.
But I feel either way, it's going to be historic. If the BJP comes to power and manages to oust the Mamata Banerjee government, it's going to be historic. And if Mamata Banerjee manages to retain herself and her government for the 4th time around, even that's going to be historic. Having said that, the recent LPG crisis and the West Asia, Mamata Banerjee did not let go of any opportunity to take to the street and show that she is the street fighter who is still holding fort in West Bengal. When she's walking with that crowd, with the number of people walking behind her, that is the iconic Mamata Banerjee that we know about. She's wearing her rubble chappals, she's wearing her iconic sari, and that is what she wants to show, that she is amongst the people over here, as opposed to the BJP, who doesn't really have so much of a leadership at the state level.
Does it really work? Before I go to Sandeep Pukan, does it really work? I remember in early 2000 when Mayawati was the chief minister, there was a huge cake cutting thing happened. And I found it very, very vulgar. Let me use the word. I found it very, very vulgar. She had that very expensive bag, Birkins or Hermes, I don't recall. And people said that, well, you don't see it from the correct perspective. The people who are there, the people she represents, feel empowered. Okay, they feel empowered. Now, Mamata Banerjee with Ma Mati Manush, 2011, I was there. I covered that election. I mean to say, someone from 30 seats to, getting a full majority, 6 times more, it was almost like a revolution, you know. But at that point of time, chappal, bindi, sari, it was all there. But does it make sense now? I mean to say, does it cut the same ice? I just want to say, because
I think it's more than sense. I think it is whether it cuts the ice with the voter or not. I think it has nothing to do with sense. What politicians do, behind all the talks of development and everything and all, it ultimately boils down to ghuspaith here. It ultimately boils down
No,
to.
but you call it symbolic. But as far as the women in Bengal is concerned, they still end up identifying or sympathizing with Mamata Banerjee and their cause. Sabyasachi, you'd be able to say better.
Well,
Find
out soon enough.
Yeah. See, a lot of the women, in fact, they personally connect with Mamata Banerjee because she has rose the way she has come to power. But several issues like RG Kaur, Sandesh Khali. Now, I've spoken with a lot of voters in West Bengal. Now, there is two different sections of women voters. Now, one section, if you talk about the rural areas, which they feel that Mamata Banerjee has done a lot for them. Didi is there for them. Didi has been giving Lokhi Bhandar for them. But when you come to the urban areas, in these seats, the women voters feel that yes, women's security right now has become a very big concern in the state of West Bengal. So when I was speaking about the 3M, now we know that the Muslim voters have been clearly voting for Mamata Banerjee right from the day she has come into power. But if you talk about the migrant voters and the Muslim voters, the huge turnout we see, the migrant voters coming out in large numbers to cast their vote, it is somewhere for their existence as well. But these migrant voters have not clearly said that whom they are going to vote, whether they are going to vote for Mamata Banerjee or whether they are going to vote for Bharatiya Janata Party. I think there is a certain amount of uncertainty which the Trinamool Congress leadership is currently seeing right now. That is the reason why we are seeing that Mamata Banerjee has broken the tradition practice where during the polls she stays at home, she doesn't come out of her residence, she monitors all the development from her Kalighat home. But this time she was on ground.
She was there at the strong rooms also, monitoring it from there itself. But as far as...
Does it betray nervousness? I mean to say, you could...
No,
there's a way of looking at it.
Yeah, people are calling it vigilance as well. They want to make sure
that's
that
the word.
no stone is left unturned. Look at the EVMs.
The same word is not used for Amit Shah because he has been campaigning for 15 days.
I think
so no one will say, is BJP nervous? But if Mamata is out for a day, it depends on how you frame the issue. Sandeep, tell me, we debated SIR, for last 60 days. Is SIR behaving singularly? Or it is very plural in its political approach, the way it behaved in Bihar, the way it behaved in West Bengal, the way it behaved in Tamil Nadu or Assam. Can you sum up Assam for us?
Sure. In Assam, of course, Kartikeya, as you know, there was no SIR, but there was SSR, the Special Summary Revision. And it was by and large a non-controversial process. It didn't really, it didn't seem that too many people, I mean, there were some reports in some local media that names were added, people with non-Assamese surnames had been added to homes which had 2 voters. So that particular home, from 2 voters, it went up to 7 or 8. So where did these extra 6 voters come from? There were some reports, but by and large, the process was non-controversial. I was in Assam at that point of time in early January when that process got over. As far as the issue